Attention all Renegades, it's time for Renegades of Puck TV. Welcome to the bunker. Welcome to the essence of no half-steppin'. I'm your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier, and we are just days away from the home base freakout. By now, you know the expansive guest list and the details, but let me quickly run over a couple of things again. It will be Friday night, the 25th of February, at Tailgate Brewery, 1538 Demonbreun Street. The event starts at 7 o'clock and will go on as late as we need the event to go on. It is open to all ages and everyone is welcome. You just need to bring your ID and make sure while you're there you are drinking and partying and celebrating responsibly, and also make sure you're going to go ahead and make arrangements to get yourself home safely after the event. We have so many incredible things happening at the home base freakout thanks to Tailgate Brewery and their incredible partnership. Also an incredible amount of guests. The bag chuckers are in. That's right, Hal Gill and Chris Mason. Also, Eric Young will be co-hosting the event with the Renegades of Puck. Each and every one of the Renegades of Puck are going to be in attendance, creating one of the grooviest photo opportunities in show history. Very much looking forward to that. The guest list is incredibly expansive, and you've heard about it for the last couple of weeks. Let me just tell you a couple of them again. Of course, former Nashville Predators captain Mike Fisher, former Nashville Predators player, broadcaster, and NHL Network analyst Stu Grimson, former NHL players Bobby Ryan and Ryan Smith, WNHL and Syracuse alum Allie Lacombe will be there. Sports Hall of Fame writer Teresa Walker will be there. And of course, Haley Murphy will be there on hand with us. We are looking so forward to seeing each and every one of you. And there will be so many other guests that we will be featuring throughout the evening. You'll have a chance to meet and greet and hang out. And it's just going to be a very laid-back atmosphere as we just plan to throw a giant house party at Tailgate Brewery. We've had such a good time promoting the event. We've been all over the place in a media tour and blitz. This week, Eric Young and myself appeared on Sportsline on News Channel 5 Plus with John Burton to promote the home base freakout. I'd like you to take a look at the clip right here.
Welcome to Sportsline, everybody, right here on News Channel 5 Plus. I'm John Burton. It is the Wednesday extravaganza. Great to be here as always. We're with you for the next hour right here on News Channel 5 Plus. And we got a lot to get to. I don't know if you know this or not, but the NHL Stadium Series game between the Nashville Predators and the Tampa Bay Lightning is coming up. It's coming up quick. It is a week from Saturday. All kinds of preparations underway, not only with the Nashville Predators, but also the National Hockey League and locally here as well. And we've got two very special guests to talk about a very special event that is coming up in celebration of the outdoor game, the Stadium Series game between the Predators and the Tampa Bay Lightning. I am pleased to be joined in studio by two of my good buddies. First one, all the way down here, Crazy Charlie Saunier, longtime radio sports producer, media personality here in Nashville. Great guy, hockey player, hockey fan.
You got one more in you.
But you, sir, are the leader of the Renegades of Puck, and I want to welcome you to News Channel 5 Studios. It's been too long. For those that don't know, Charlie and I worked together used to work together at WNSR, Nashville Sports Radio. He was my producer for the morning radio show that I still do with Greg Pogue, the Greg Pogue and John Burton show. Charlie, great to have you here. It is an honor.
JB, if I may take just a couple seconds. First, thank you to News Channel 5 and Sportsline for having us here in this amazing piece of Nashville living history. In a city that is seeing its history disappear every day, a place like this and to be here is such an incredible honor. So first, thank you and the entire crew and the entire staff here. And secondly, I just want to say, John, it's been a while since I've seen you, and you just mentioned our old partner, Greg Pogue. I just want to take a couple seconds to say thank you to you and Greg for back in the day. It was a tremendous honor to be a part of your show. I wish I could still be a part of it, but due to some health reasons and some other reasons that you're aware of that a lot of people aren't, just can't do it anymore. But John, it's great to be here right now. It's great to be here with Eric Young, and it's great to be talking Renegades of Puck, Nashville Predators Stadium Series, and most importantly, the home base freakout, the biggest celebration of hockey that we have ever seen that's not put on by the Nashville Predators themselves.
Well, if you're a pro wrestling fan, as am I, you know who this guy is. Multi-time world champion, Impact Wrestling star, Showtime, Eric Young, the leader of Violent by Design. But folks, He's also a good Canadian boy, and he loves his hockey. He lives here in the Nashville area. He's been a big supporter of hockey on all levels here in the area, and especially the Nashville Predators, season ticket holder. We see at all the games. I think back to 2017 during the Stanley Cup run. You were always there, and you are a big part of this home base freakout. You are one of the Renegades of Puck, as am I, an honorary member. First of all, it's great to see you, big guy. How's everything going?
Yeah, it's good, man. You left out an important thing. Failed hockey player.
Aren't we all?
Canada. Yeah, growing up in Canada, that's all I wanted to do most of my young life. Wrestling was always a passion of mine, too. But I didn't realize until later in life that hockey wasn't going to work out for me. I still play it poorly, but I love it. But moving here, 2004, obviously the Predators existed, but the hockey community was small.
Sure.
And I immediately immersed myself in it and got my equipment here and started playing open hockey and found out that the hockey community here is this really amazing group of tight-knit people, and they support each other. It really is a community inside of a community, and that's what the home base freakout, I think, is most importantly. It's a celebration of the hockey community that the Nashville Predators have helped to cultivate.
They've done
an amazing job, and we're here to help celebrate that.
All right, so tell us about the home base freakout. It's coming up. It is a huge event. So Charlie, take it away. What do we got?
JB, listen, it's a week from Friday, okay? So it's the 25th. Tailgate Brewery on de Mondrian Street, 1538 de Mondrian Street. It's all ages. That's the first thing that's most important. The next most important thing is that every one of you are welcome to attend. There is no cover charge. We're going to open the doors and start the event at 7 o'clock. All you have to do is show your ID at the door to get in. No cover, all ages, everyone is welcome. And JB, the guest list. You love a good gimmick, right?
I do.
The guest list is so expansive that we're going to have to come back next week for part 2 and finish the guest list. But if you don't mind, a couple of quick highlights.
Absolutely.
Not only will Violent by Design Eric Young be there co-hosting the event with me, your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier, every one of the Renegades of Puck, past and present, are going to be in attendance for the first time in history. The grooviest group photo you've ever seen will be taking place that night. But it goes beyond what I have done and what the Renegades of Puck are doing. The hockey community is coming together, John Burton, and that means the Bag Chuckers. That means Chris Mason and Hal Gill, just like in Dallas the night before the Winter Classic.
We were there.
Joining us again.
We were all there. We had a great time.
This trio had a good time in the Big D. So we've got the Bag Chuckers, but it goes beyond Chris Mason and Hal Gill. I mean, that's pretty impressive right there. But then we're going to add former Nashville Predators captain Mike Fisher to our guest list.
Wow.
We're also adding former Nashville Predators player, broadcaster, and NHL network analyst Stu Grimson.
Oh, the Grim Reaper.
You want to hear some more?
I do.
How about former NHLer number 2 overall pick Bobby Ryan?
Wow.
How about Ryan Smith, Captain Canada? How about everyone, John Burton, everyone coming together to celebrate the glorious game? Musicians, artists, hockey players, actors, and regular people like you, me, and Jeremy right here. We're all going to be taking care of that business at the home base freakout. We can't wait, John. It's exciting. We're expecting to see the whole hockey community out there. And there are so many special guests, and we all know how this works out, fellas. We simply can't tell you about all of them.
Yeah.
You have to be there to find out.
Yeah, there's some ones that not on that list. You know what I mean? Like when you're not including some people that we don't want to say, but they've already
Special
confirmed.
surprises.
Special surprises.
Yeah.
Stick taps, love, and respect to John Burton for having the Renegades of Puck on News Channel 5 Plus. It really did mean a lot to be in that piece of living Nashville history. Looking forward to being back on with you again soon, John. The Renegades of Puck are always ready to come on TV and deliver the no half-stepping goods. Listen, we'd also appreciate if you would go to renegadesofpuck.com, and while you're at renegadesofpuck.com, you can click on that merchandise link, and you'll already find merch to the home base freakout. So confident in the success of the event, we've already posted the merchandise up for sale. So go ahead and get yourself one of those brand new t-shirts, or you can go ahead and get yourself the classic logo t-shirt, or of course our Pride logo t-shirt. We also have plenty of our world famous gimmicks, the socks, everybody. Renegades, the socks are here. My outfit for the home base freakout is coming together. I have purchased the socks, and I will be wearing those to the home base freakout, and I hope that you will be picking out your outfits and wearing them to the home base freakout as well. You can get your merchandise right there at renegadesofpuck.com. We sure do appreciate it. Every dollar we make off of our merchandise goes directly to the Renegades of Puck. Also, you can become a partner of the Renegades of Puck by going to Venmo or just scanning the QR code. We sure would appreciate if you would do that. Every donation also goes to the Renegades of Puck to help with improvements here at the bunker. Social media is critically important to the Renegades of Puck, so we definitely need your assistance when it comes to subscriptions on YouTube. Starting from scratch just a couple of months ago to where we are right now, we have gained plenty of ground, Renegades, but we can always add plenty more recruits. So pass those links around and do that all across the social media platforms, because you can find the Renegades of Puck on Facebook. You can find us on Twitter. You can also find us on Instagram. If you're looking for the podcast form in audio only, you can find that on SoundCloud, and that is available to you at any time. And of course, our behind the scenes live stream, just another way you can consume the essence of No Half Steppin', that takes place on Twitch. If it needs a second take, that's where you'll find it. If we make a mistake, that's also where you're going to find it. And you'll also have access to the information before anyone else does. The fully produced version of Renegades of Puck TV comes out a couple of hours later after the live stream. Now listen, you've come here for the No Half Step in hockey coverage, and I know it's time to deliver the goods. That was a lot of promotions, and I sure do appreciate and thank each and every one of you for joining us here on Renegades of Puck TV. We've got a lot to talk about as far as the Nashville Predators are concerned. The Preds have now played 50 games on the season. They have sit fourth place in the Central Division. They are currently 14 points behind the Colorado Avalanche, and I don't think it's in doubt at this point that the Colorado Avalanche are simply going to run away with the Central Division this season. They're only 3 points behind second place Minnesota, 2 points behind third place St. Louis, and the Nashville Predators sit 6 points ahead of fifth place Dallas, 8 points ahead of the Winnipeg Jets, 17 ahead of Chicago, and 32 points ahead of last place Arizona. So for the Nashville Predators, when you take a look inside the standings, even though they've lost 4 in a row, they are still very close to easily being in second or third place. Just a matter of turning things around and picking up a couple of points here in the next stretch of games, which that is not going to be very easy. The Nashville Predators' next game will take place on the road in Florida. It'll be the first time that the Nashville Predators have faced off against the Panthers this season. And if you have not paid attention to the Eastern Conference and you have not paid attention to the Atlantic Division, you may not realize just how good this Florida Panthers team is. With an overall record of 34-10-5, 73 points has them in first place in the Atlantic Division. A home record of 23-3 and a goal differential of plus 60. This Florida Panthers team is very impressive. Last year when the Nashville Predators were in the same division as the Panthers, we saw how good the potential was for the Florida Panthers team. They have now put that completely together for the Nashville Predators. Once they take care of this game in Florida, it will be coming on home to face off against the Dallas Stars on the 24th of February. That will be the Pekka Rinne retirement night. Of course, a whole day and week of festivities planned leading up to that. And then, of course, the home base freakout on the 25th at Tailgate Brewery. And then the 26th on Saturday, the Nashville Predators will host the Tampa Bay Lightning at Nissan Stadium in the Stadium Series game. Took a look at the tickets and the map and the available seats. It looks like the Nashville Predators are headed for a sellout at Nissan Stadium. Once that last weather forecast comes through and people realize it's going to be a clear day and not an ultra cold day, those last tickets will be snapped up immediately. They'll pick up the schedule again after the Stadium Series on the 2nd of March in Seattle against the Kraken. Then on the 5th of March, they'll be in San Jose, and the 8th of March back home against the Dallas Stars. Taking a look inside the numbers between these two teams, the Nashville Predators are slipping in every metric, and you can see that in their most recent stretch of hockey. This 4 games has done quite a bit of damage. The Nashville Predators in goals for at 3.04 now. That is 14th in the NHL. Goals against 2.82 is 14th in the NHL. Shots for at 29.4 is 25th. Shots against at 17th. The power play has now dropped to 10th, where it was up in the top 5 for quite some time, scoring 36 times now on 151 opportunities, and the penalty kill is rated 15th. The Nashville Predators held multiple top 10 metrics in statistics before the All-Star break. You can see the damage that has been done. Also now, the Nashville Predators are starting to have to deal with some injuries. Cousins is going to be out week to week, and Borowiecki left the game earlier this evening, and he is at this point listed as day-to-day, but ultimately they won't know officially what's going on with him until a day or two from now. So for the Nashville Predators, things are not looking very good as of late. Taking a look inside the numbers for the Florida Panthers, they are number one overall in the NHL goals for, 4.10 per game in goals against, 2.86 is 15th, shots for, generating 36.4 per game on net. That's best overall in the league, 31.7 shots against, 18th in the league. They have the 15th best power play and the 19th best penalty kill. This is a highly impressive, young, and well-structured Florida Panthers team, and the high-skilled individuals are all over the place, led by Jonathan Huberdeau at 17 goals and 51 assists for 68 points on the season, and he classically has some very good games against the Nashville Predators. Reinhart at 17 and 29 for 46, Ekblad at 12 and 33 for 45 points, and Ekblad also typically has good games against the Nashville Predators, and you could say the same about Barkov. He has 22 goals on the season and 20 assists. That equals 42 points. Verhaeghe's at 16 goals and 22 assists for 38 points. So plenty of offensive punch for the Florida Panthers. And in net, Sergei Bobrovsky putting up one hell of a season, at least as far as the wins and losses go. 25-4-3 at this point, a .919 save percentage and 2.52 goals against average. Spencer Knight, the backup for the Florida Panthers, also with a winning record at 9-6-2, but the rest of the numbers not as impressive. .898 save percentage and a 3.22 goals against average. When you look at the individual stats for the Nashville Predators, of course, they're led by their captain, Roman Josi, as they have been for much of the season. 13 goals and 38 assists now for 51 points on the season. Matt Duchene's at 23 goals and 21 assists for 44 points. Philip Forsberg now has 25 goals and is quickly approaching the single-season franchise record for goals. 16 assists added to that, and that means 41 points. Mikael Granlund's at 7 goals and 32 assists now for 39 points. Johansson, 13 goals and 23 assists for 36 points. And Tanner Jeannot now has 15 goals in the season, add his 14 assists. That means 29 points for the NHL rookie. UC Saros, the numbers are starting to slip just a little bit because of the team's recent poor play, but still a highly impressive season at 24-15-3, a .923 save percentage, and a 2.49 goals against average. For the Nashville Predators, John Hynes said being in a slump means getting away from your identity. And you can see out there on the ice that the Nashville Predators simply have not been able to keep their identity going for more than a short stretch of time in any point. The offense has almost completely dried up, and you are relying basically on Roman Josi and Philip Forsberg to handle all of the offense right now. The special teams is not playing nearly as good as it was earlier in the season, and for the Nashville Predators, this is the most adversity they have faced at any point in time. The schedule coming up is incredibly difficult. The Florida Panthers, then the Dallas Stars, then the Tampa Bay Lightning in a showcase international hockey event. So the Nashville Predators have got to get their stuff together. John Hynes, after the game tonight, said that the Nashville Predators had a couple of days now to get things worked out. What we have seen, though, is when the Nashville Predators have a few extra days off, they don't seem to perform very well. Maybe that trend will change coming up with this next game in Florida against the Panthers. It's now time for the Rebirth Sports full game recap. Rebirth Sports, you can find them on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, or go to rebirthsports.com. They take visions and make them reality, like the jersey you're seeing me wear right here. I got in contact with Doug at Rebirth Sports, and I said, Doug, I love the home jersey. I love what it looks like. I love the black. But what can we do to flip that and make it a road jersey? I had this jersey here in the bunker almost instantaneously. Doug, Rebirth Sports, they're incredible people. They're an incredible business, and I sure do appreciate the partnership with them. And thanks to their partnership, we're going to be able to give away one of the home jerseys and one of the road jerseys for the Renegades of Puck at the Home Base Freakout. All you have to do is be in attendance. We'll be giving out some tickets throughout the night. We'll be doing some drawings and making some announcements. So Rebirth Sports, you've seen their work all over the hockey rinks, anywhere that you've been. Believe me, you have, and you've been blown away by it. I get asked all the time and everywhere I play, whether it's in league play, tournaments, or in the U.S. Pond Hockey Championships on Lake Nokomis in Minnesota. People ask me where I got the jersey, and every time I tell them, Rebirth Sports. So go to rebirthsports.com, check them out. Give them some Stick Taps love and respect. They're a great partner of this show, and they're a great business, and they're also great people. We appreciate them very much. Now, let's get into that Reverse Sports full game recap. It was all the way back on the 18th of February in the year of 2022, and the Nashville Predators were in Carolina to take on their former division rivals, the Carolina Hurricanes. John Hines deployed his lines as following: Tobin and Johansson and Cunnin, Forsberg, Granlund, and Duchesne. The Herd line, Trenton, Sissons, and Janot. Smith, McCarron, and Tomasino. Your defensive pairings are Yossi and Fabro, Ekholm and Carrier, Borowiecki and Benning, and of course UC Saros gets the start in net. 4:43 into the first period, after a feel-out period, Johansson gets a shot at close range after driving the net. It was the first shot on goal of the game, also of course for the Nashville Predators. 7:05 in the first period, Forsberg is stopped by Anderson at close range. 8:59, UC Saros comes up with a save on Niederreiter from the high slot. That was the first shot on goal for the Carolina Hurricanes, so it took them nearly 9 minutes before they were able to generate a shot on goal, so UC Saros able to remain sharp. Unfortunately for the Nashville Predators and for UC Saros, at 10:24, Brady Shea is picking up his 7th goal of the season, giving the Carolina Hurricanes a 1-0 lead. He cut to the net and found some open space between 4 Nashville Predators in the low slot, and he puts the puck in the net. UC Saros never had a chance on this one. The Nashville Predators could have done a lot of things differently on this one. You should never find that much open space between 4 defenders that close to the goal. Carolina with a 1-0 lead. 13:38 of the first period, UC Saros comes with a save on Svechnikov plus the rebound on Aho. This leads to a big scrum where you see Forsberg and Aho square off for just a minute. Philip Forsberg does land one big haymaker. Forsberg would get 2 minutes roughing for that, but Aho would go off to the box 2 minutes for roughing, and also an additional 2 minutes for the sticking foul on Forsberg just before they started scrumming it up. Solid roughing minors for both of those players. It would be Johansson off to the box for 2 minutes for roughing. That would lead to a 4-on-4, canceling the Nashville Predators power play for 1 minute and 44 seconds. Anderson would come with a huge save on Cunnin after a turnover by the Carolina Hurricanes, and it's physical out there. Everywhere you look, guys are practically suplexing each other down in the corner, and it is definitely a very intense game. You can tell that these two teams simply do not like each other very much. At 18:20 the first period, Svechnikov's off the box, 2 minutes for elbowing, and Anderson would come up with a huge save on Tolvanen's one-timer from the slot. Anderson was dialed in early in the game in this one. 10 shots on goal for the Nashville Predators in the first period, 8 shots on goal for the Carolina Hurricanes in the first period, all 8 of those shots coming in the final 10 minutes. The Canes have a 1-0 lead. We're into the second period now, and it's 4 minutes and 9 seconds in. UC Saros is coming up with a save on Svechnikov's backhand, and then Kotkaniemi is scoring his 10th goal of the season at 5:14. Carolina now leading 2-0 in this game. It was a rebound put back from the slot. It was a slow change because of a broken stick, and the Nashville Predators get caught out of position, leading to an easy goal for the Carolina Hurricanes. 7:40 of the second period. Philip Forsberg hits another post. Got to recalibrate those sights, number 9. Carolina's controlling the game in all 3 zones at this point and really starting to assert their dominance, rolling all 4 lines. 16:04 of the second period, UC Saros comes up with yet another save on Svechnikov. 16:07, Johansson's off to the box again. 2 minutes for cross-checking on Svechnikov while he was trying to put a rebound attempt back on net. Johansson went ahead and made sure he paid the price and cleared him out. Johansson off to the box. Saros coming with a save on Teravainen on the power play situation. At 18:38 of the second period, after the Nashville Predators offense was virtually absent for the entire period, Luke Cunnin comes up with his 11th goal of the season, suddenly making it a more interesting game as Carolina now leads 2-1. It was a wrist shot from the slot after a turnover in the neutral zone. As a matter of fact, it was Yossi and Johansson helping set up the goal by Cunnin, but the Nashville Predators give up a momentum stealing and killing goal with 1 second left in the second period. 19:59 of the second. Slavin, yep, that guy again. His 3rd goal of the season. It was a bar down wrist shot from the low circle. Carolina has a 2-goal lead again, now leading 3-1 at the end of the second period and out shooting the Nashville Predators 19-15. We go into the third period. It's 1:43 in, and Tomasino's seen himself bumped up in ice time and line combinations as things have been shuffled around in the third period, and he's robbed by Anderson on the rebound chance off of Ekholm's close range shot, plus a follow-up opportunity goes just to the outside of the post. The Preds are looking better in the first 5 minutes of this third period than they had the previous 40 minutes of the entire game. That would all be circumvented, though, at 6:18 of the third period when McCarron would go off the box 2 minutes for tripping after a cross-check penalty by Carolina was missed in the neutral zone. Benning comes up a little bit lame in this situation, goes to the bench, and was certainly very pissed off about the non-call. Preds find themselves shorthanded, and that's when Svechnikov goes to work, his 21st goal of the season. Carolina now leads 4-1 after a wide-open net from a perfect cross-slot pass by Teravainen. The Carolina Hurricanes are simply one of the slickest offensive teams in the NHL. You give them the man advantage, you give them some time and space, and they're going to cash in every time. Preds down by 3 in the third period. 7:57 in the third period. Aho's off the box, 2 minutes for hooking. That Carolina penalty kill, yeah, they're very, very good. They kill it off with ease. 12:02 in the third period. Saros comes up with a save on Aho's breakaway. The best save of the game for UC Saros by far. 14:37. Philip Forsberg gets his 25th goal of the season. It was wrist shot from the left circle. Now, get the time that I mentioned, 14:37. Well, the Nashville Predators actually had the empty net at this point. Being down by 3, John Hines went ahead and pulled UC Saros, and the Nashville Predators were able to use the extra skater and the extra room to gain a goal. Philip Forsberg's 25th goal of the season makes it a 4-2 game. 17:49, still with the empty net. Now Tanner Jeannot scores his 15th goal of the season. Carolina now has only a 1-goal lead, leading 4-3. Granlund did all of the work along the wall to make sure the puck stayed in the zone. Roman Josi took the shot from out high, and Tanner Jeannot deflected it like an expert into the net. His 15th goal of the season, and things are getting very interesting now in Carolina. 18:45 of the third period. Roman Josi, though, is off to the box, 2 minutes for slashing. He chopped the stick in half to prevent the empty net goal, but then Svechnikov would get the empty net goal as the Nashville Predators still kept the goaltender pulled in an attempt to tie the game. Your final would be 5-3. Nashville would outshoot Carolina 31-30, but that really doesn't make a difference. I really thought that the Carolina Hurricanes would bring something out in the Nashville Predators that we haven't seen in a while. They played 16 times last year, and they absolutely got after each other, and you could tell early in the game that there was a lot of dislike between these two teams. The injury to Borowiecki early in the first period, I think, might have soured the Nashville Predators just a little bit for some time as far as the physical element goes, but they certainly did not continue and carry on the way they have against a lot of teams this season as far as consistent physical play throughout the first period. I'll have numbers to back that up here in the box score and from the Renegade Analytics desk coming up here in just a couple of minutes. But for the Nashville Predators, I really hope that the 3-game losing streak would come to an end tonight in Carolina. I knew it was going to be a tough hill to climb, and that's a very difficult rink for the Nashville Predators to go in and win. And the Carolina Hurricanes are simply one of the best teams in the NHL. Whether you like it or not, whether you like the coach or not, they simply are one of the contenders for the Stanley Cup this season, and a very tough team to beat. The Nashville Predators get swept in the season series by the Carolina Hurricanes. Now they'll open a season series against the Florida Panthers, first of 2 games. They won't see the Florida Panthers again until April on the 9th at Bridgestone Arena. UC Saros was 25 out of 29 in this game, and I got to tell you, he's just not getting the support since the All-Star break. He is still making otherworldly saves. He is still showing off edge work tracking. He's stopping breakaways, but unfortunately, the Nashville Predators have been shorthanded so much as of late. They're giving up 2-on-0 breakaways. They're giving up 3-on-1 odd rushes. They are simply giving up too many golden scoring opportunities to some high-quality offenses. You give the Carolina Hurricanes the opportunities that you did in this last game, and they are going to seize those. So for UC Saros, he's just not getting the support right now from the rest of the team, and the offense is virtually dried up. UC Saros may have to be relied upon to steal a game, though, coming up soon to help turn things around. We all know that he's fully capable of doing that. Nostradamus will be back in the trenches soon to break down everything going on with the Nashville Predators and everything between the pipes. Appreciate you, Mosh, and I know you're off with the family right now. We are sending our love and our respect to you and the Mashopolis family. We'll see you in the trenches here soon. Roman Josi in this game, 3 assists, now 51 points on the season in 48 games played. This is starting to put him in some very special possible territory for this season. We all know that what Roman Josi is capable of, and he is on plenty of franchise record watch moments right now. But when you take a look at the overall all-time seasons by Nashville Predators for a single season, Is he capable of reaching Paul Kariya's 85 points in a season? Well, right now, 51 points, 48 games, 32 games to be played still in the season. Yes, of course, he's fully capable of it, but do I think that Roman Josi is going to reach 85 points on the season? No, I do not. The next milestone below Paul Kariya is, again, Paul Kariya, 76 points in the 06-07 season. Now, I do think that Roman Josi can get 25 more points in the final 32 games of the season. I would not put it past him to make a significant run at the record. Below Paul Kariya in second place is Jason Arnott with 72, JP Dumont with 72, and Steve Sullivan with 68. I expect that you'll see Roman Josi's name somewhere right in the middle of this, possibly with a top 2 season all-time offensively. And remember, every name that I mentioned to you there was a forward. Roman Josi, as a defenseman, is setting the benchmark for all time for the Nashville Predators franchise. So Roman Josi is making a run at some pretty significant things. A pretty significant guy to me here in the trenches is Sean C. Smith from ontheforecheck.com. You can find him on Twitter at SCSOTF. You can also check him out on a myriad of podcasts across the landscape of Nashville Predators coverage. He is one great guy, and he's got the intel that you need to know. Sean, it's all yours.
Thanks, Charlie. Hey, Renegades, it's Sean C. Smith, and I'll say a few things about the game tonight. Let's be realistic. It was disappointing. It's not the ending you want to see to a game like this. And you know, I really, really love the willingness of John Hines and the rest of his coaching staff to pull Saros with that much time left on the clock. That's something that you've seen the research say that you're better off pulling your goalie earlier than later, but you don't see it happen quite often. And quite frankly, with that kind of deficit, is someone really going to do that kind of thing? And you saw it happen tonight, and I think you saw the team respond positively. They were gaining momentum, but unfortunately, 3 goals right at the end of the game, playing with an empty net, is still a lot to ask. The thing I'm positive about coming out of this game is that the team's resilient. The problem I have coming out of this game is what John Hines said after the game, deals with consistency. The Predators played an inconsistent game tonight. They had flashes where they played at the top of their game, doing exactly what they needed to do to be the type of team they needed to be, to play the type of game they needed to play, to put themselves in the best position to win. But you did have some issues. We already know Nick Cousins is out of the lineup, and he's one of the main agitators on the team. And with Borowiecki getting injured in the game and not returning, that took not only one player out of the lineup, causing him to play down one defender, but it also meant that somebody who's really good at banging on those bodies against the boards wasn't in the lineup, meaning other guys had to play more minutes, and they had to play without somebody who was a heavy hitter. Those things are things that you can deal with within a game if you stay consistent and you stay on top of your game plan. And unfortunately, the Predators were inconsistent tonight, and they didn't play to their game plan, and they weren't the team they needed to be to give themselves the best chance to win. And what it's going to take going down this stretch is you're going to have to see the team do some things differently. You're going to have to see them step up and play that full 60-minute game we've talked about so much in the past that needs to be played in order to win. But I will say this, I saw for the first time in a long time some in-game line shuffling. And I think one of the main things I saw addressed was Philip Tomasino playing with some higher caliber line mates as he got moved up to play with Ryan Johansson and Luke Cunnin. And I think he looked really, really good. And hopefully this was the chance he needed and the break he got to show that this is someone who can play on the top lines and put up numbers if given the chance. Now, he may not have scored tonight, but when he was on the ice with those guys on the ice with him, as opposed to guys down on the fourth line, he looked a lot better to me. He looked full of life. He looked like he was ready to prove himself. So my vote going forward, not that I have one and not that it matters, is to see Philip Tomasino get minutes on one of those top lines. And I think right now that spot with Johansson and Cunnin looks pretty good. Johansson's a great playmaker, getting his at least 500th point in his career tonight. I'm not sure if he was involved in those other goals at the end, but he definitely is putting up big numbers this season and doing what he needs to do out there for the money he gets paid. So putting him with somebody who's a young, potentially elite playmaker like Tomasino, I think could yield big things for this team if they're willing to go ahead and commit to putting Tomasino on that top line. And that's all I've got for tonight, Charlie. I'm going to send it back over to you. And hey, Renegades, who's excited about the home base freakout? I can't wait to see everybody there. Let me know on Twitter that you're going to be there so I can make a dance card of people I need to talk to. Take it away, Charlie.
You can find him on Twitter at SCSOTF. You can check out his work on theforecheck.com. You can watch him right here on Renegades of Puck TV. He is, of course, the one and only Sean C. Smith. Strong Style Fitness. I sure would appreciate if you would go to strongstylefit.com or look Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook for Strong Style Fitness, a certified personal trainer with over 150 workouts now for each and every one of you Renegades. Whether you are just getting started with your first stretch or you are ready to throw iron like an expert, Tracy has you covered over there, and she has all of her workouts posted on YouTube, 100% donation-based. That means it's completely free and on demand for you Renegades. In a time and an age when everybody's begging for your money and trying to tell you how to get in shape, you put in the work with Tracy, and I guarantee you will see the results. We've all seen it with our own eyes here in the bunker, and we have plenty of evidence to show you coming up in the future. Strong Style Fitness will be back shooting brand new videos coming up here very soon. But for now, 150 workouts available to you completely for free on YouTube. Again, Strong Style Fitness. Stick taps, love, and respect to Tracy over at Strong Style Fitness. What an incredible certified personal trainer that she is. I am so appreciative of all the partners that we have here in the trenches. Let me go over the box score, and I was talking about some of the evidence and some of the numbers about this Nashville Predators team and about how they are just simply underperforming. Now, your goal scorers, as I always like to run down the list, Forsberg, Jeannot, and Cunnin. Your assists go to Matt Duchene, also Ryan Johansson, and then Roman Josi took care of the rest of that business with 3 assists on the night. Shots leader for the game, 6 by Roman Josi, and you also saw 3 by Luke Cunnin and 3 by a couple of other players. Hits in this game, Trennan with 5 and Cunnin with 4, but you see that the Nashville Predators across the board are not putting up as much physical play as they were before the All-Star break. When you look at Tanner Jeannot with only 3 hits in the game, Ryan Johansson with 0, McCarron with only 1, Sissons with 2, Smith with 2. Now, Tolvanen has 3, Tomasino only has 1 in this game, and some of the defensemen there at 1. I expect the Nashville Predators to really get back to what was working for them so well, which is going into the trenches and really working those hard areas and making every single player pay a price. It was making the opponents back off from what they wanted to do, and the Nashville Predators were able to impose their own will by investing in pain early in these games. They need to get back to that, and they need to get back to it soon. Not only was it highly entertaining to watch and cover, but it was also highly successful. I also need to talk to you about one more great partner before we go over the Renegade Analytics desk and we hear from Brian Baston and we get the rest of the numbers. Stripe Digital Solutions, and you know all about Stripe Digital Solutions at this point. Stripe Digital Solutions is partnering with us not only here on Renegades of Puck TV, but also for the Home Base Freakout. And thanks to Stripe Digital Solutions, we are going to be able to give away a bunch of free swag at the Home Base Freakout. So make sure you get out there early and make sure you check in at the table with Stripe Digital Solutions. You get a chance to meet Brandy. You'll get a chance to tell her how much you appreciate the work she's done for the Renegades of Puck. And hey, find out how Brandy can help you build your brand. That's a perfect opportunity for you to ask a basic question and make a basic contact and get a business card from Brandy. She not only helped me make the logo right here that's on the wall and it's on the crest of this jersey, but she helped create renegadesofpuck.com and helps build the brand with my social media plan. I sure do appreciate Brandy jumping in the trenches here with the Renegades of Puck. Brian Baston's over at ontheforecheck.com. That's where you can see his charts, and you can also find his numbers just about everywhere. Brian does a great job of crunching the numbers. That's why I always say he's got the numbers that you need to know, and he's in charge of the Renegade Analytics desk. You can find him on Twitter at Brian Baston, and you can check out his charts at ontheforecheck.com. Brian, it's all yours.
Thanks a lot, Charlie. Once again, the Carolina Hurricanes continue to be a thorn in the Predators' side, specifically for Coach John Hynes and his tenure behind the bench. While we the fans are having to endure the official Hurricanes Twitter account beating a dead horse all the time, the Nashville Predators have not been able to solve Rod Brindamore's Hurricanes, and unfortunately, tonight was no different, and that's the topic of tonight's One Big Stat. Fellow Renegade Sean Smith noted earlier today that since Coach Hynes took over the team in early January 2020, he has coached the Predators against the Hurricanes 16 times, including tonight, which is second in franchise history for head coaches, behind 19 from Barry Trotz and 11 from Peter Laviolette. And in that time, Nashville has struggled. Sure, we all remember the 4-2 series loss in the playoffs last season at the hand of Carolina. But in the 16 games under Hines in total, Nashville is 4-9-3, including 2-3 in overtime games. The score sheet hasn't been kind either. After tonight's 5-3 loss, Carolina has scored 54 goals to Nashville's 37. That means Carolina is averaging a full goal more per game than Nashville. With an important week in Smashville looming and a 4-game losing streak behind them, Nashville will have to hope the line shakeups that triggered tonight's comeback attempt can power them in the week ahead and give the world a good showing when they raise Pekka's numbers into the rafters, then make history at Nissan Stadium. And one thing we all can look forward to this week, though, is the home base freakout at Tailgate Brewery Music Row. Come on out and join us the night before the Stadium Series game for the biggest hockey tailgate event this city has ever seen. Aside from my fellow Renegades and our Captain Charlie, we'll have Chris Mason, Hal Gill, Eric Young, Stu Grimson, Allie Lacombe, Bobby Ryan, and many more. So come on out to the Tailgate Brewery at 7 p.m. It's an all-ages event. There's no cover, and all you have to do is show ID at the door. Join us at the freakout, then cheer on the Preds at Nissan Stadium to help get them back to their winning ways. And that's tonight's one big stat. Charlie?
You can check out his charts at ontheforecheck.com. You can see him right here on Renegades of Puck TV. And, of course, you can follow him on Twitter at Brian Baston. By the way, happy birthday, Renegades. Stick taps, love, and respect to you. We sure do appreciate each and everything that you do here for the Renegades of Puck. Ann Kimmel has been covering the Olympic hockey tournament for the Renegades of Puck, and she has been covering the women's tournament. And, of course, the women's tournament has come to its conclusion and has done an incredible job of covering the tournament from start to finish. And now she will transition into covering other topics for the Renegades of Puck. I am so appreciative of her jumping in the trenches with us. Here will be her final report on the Olympic tournament as far as the women's side of the tournament. And the show's all yours.
Thanks, Charlie. Women's hockey has wrapped up at the Beijing Olympic Games with the bronze and gold medal matches. In the bronze medal game, Finland defeated Switzerland in a matchup that remained pretty close until Finland opened it up in the third period, scoring 3 late goals to win the bronze medal. Special teams played a part in this game, too, for Finland as they scored 2 power play goals. The much anticipated gold medal match saw Team USA fall to a Team Canada that has dominated through this entire tournament. USA started out slow in the first period and just ran out of time to catch this rock-solid Canadian team. The United States picked it up in the second period, but were already facing a 3-0 deficit when Hillary Knight scored a shorthanded goal to get Team USA on the board. Amanda Kessel made it 3-2, but there were only 13.5 seconds remaining in the game, and USA lost to Canada 3-2 and wound up winning the silver medal while Canada took home gold. Overall, this was a really good performance for Team USA, but heading home, there are some questions that have been raised about coaching decisions during the tournament and during the gold medal game. Defender Jinsey Dunn saw very little ice time through the entire tournament in Beijing and none in the gold medal game, while Caroline Harvey, another strong defender, also saw extremely limited ice time in the gold medal game against Canada. Forwards Haley Skamura, Grace Sumwinkle, and Abby Murphy also saw few minutes in the gold medal game. And this was really puzzling because these are 3 players who have had very strong performances all the way through the semifinals. Goaltending is going to be the biggest conversation coming out of the Beijing Games for Team USA. Alex Cavallini played in net for the gold medal game, which was not unexpected. But after the game, Cavallini shared that she was playing this tournament with a torn MCL that had occurred in January. With 2 very responsible and experienced netminders in Maddie Rooney and Nicole Hensley, it really raises some questions about player management throughout this tournament. It is worth noting that the gold medal game on NBC averaged 4.9 million viewers, the highest numbers for a women's final since 2002 when it aired in primetime. There is obviously a hunger for women's hockey out there, and good news. It was announced that the women's U18 tournament that was canceled December 24th has been rescheduled for sometime in June. It will be held right here in the USA, so there will be plenty more quality women's women's hockey to look forward to this summer.
That's Ann Kimmel, and she's done an incredible job jumping in the trenches and covering all things women's Olympic hockey for us over the last couple of episodes. And we look forward to her contributions coming up soon in a bunch of other things, including Nashville Predators coverage, sled hockey coverage, and frankly, just about anything Ann feels like covering. I look forward to having her correspondent reports here on the show. Speaking of that, if you would like to be a correspondent for the Renegades of Puck, and I am reaching out to all levels of hockey in all markets in all parts of the world. It is so simple to become a correspondent for the Renegades of Puck. Go to renegadesofpuck@gmail.com and send us an email, or go to any of our social media platforms and get in touch with any of the Renegades of Puck, and we can help you get started. It is as simple as pulling out a cell phone and taking some video and then submitting it here to the Renegades of Puck to be featured on Renegades of Puck TV. You got a rec league team that's got a great story, a local player from your hometown that you want us to talk about? Well, we'll do it right here. Hey, did you just score your first goal and you got a clip of it? We love showing first goals right here on Renegades of Puck TV. We own Renegades of Puck TV. That's why we built it. It's built by Renegades for Renegades. So let's go ahead and show some Renegades in action out there. Become a correspondent for the show. Whatever it is that you do. You take pictures, you do interviews, you play hockey, you shoot skill shot videos. I want it to be a part of the Renegades of Puck TV. We're building a community. We're building a force for positivity. We're building something that is going to be remembered, and we are all going to be a part of it together. We are all welcome in the trenches. I appreciate each and every one of you for trusting me here in the bunker to lead you through the great hockey war and well beyond into the future. I am your host and captain, Crazy Charlie Saunier, for Mostradamus, for Sean C. Smith, for Brian Baston, for Ann Kimmel, for Kay Perkin, of course, for the ultimate one. Home base freakout, less than a week away. I'm counting on you, Renegades. Let's make it the biggest, greatest, most fun and positive hockey celebration that anyone has ever seen. Let's show the entire hockey universe what Nashville and the Renegades of Puck can do when we get together and we throw a party. Stick taps, love, respect.